because we're on Zoom and we're in the Conscious Conversations with Your Business group. And then Paul's also live streaming it to YouTube. So we have it going up in a few different places.
And we're all live.
All right, we're live everywhere. All right, so officially welcome and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, whatever time you're watching this, when you're watching the replays. I'm so happy that you're here and that we're doing this together today. Today, what we're doing right now is another of the live videos in the Wellspring Live series. And as you've heard before, if you've been here before, is the intention of these weekly videos is for you to be inspired, receive some guidance, support, maybe some new ideas you hadn't thought of, some vision for either getting your spiritual business growing, expanding it to the next level, or even getting it off the ground. No matter where you are in your journey with your spiritual business, these little nuggets will help every week, because Wellspring is that inexhaustible source of anything, not just water. And so we want to open up to the fact that we have a wellspring of possibilities in creating a thriving practice for you that is custom tailored to you, not based on all the marketing gurus or business gurus out there. What's right for you, not just right now, but as you move forward in the future. Because it is really part of my mission right now and my purpose I just feel this so deeply inside of me, that light workers, energy healers, life coaches, transformational leaders, mystics, psychics, all of us, all the ones I haven't mentioned too, it's time for us to confidently shine, to step out, to reach your people and to thrive on all levels. It's a really big paradigm shift so that we can eradicate this collective belief in the starving healer, and without being in energetic balance. The universe is always seeking to be in energetic balance, and we want to be in that too as we're offering these beautiful gifts of light and transformation to the world. So I'm glad you're here. Let's dive right into today's topic, because today I'm sharing with you an essential aspect of your business. As I mentioned before, whether your business is brand new, whether it's years old, or you're still dreaming about it, you're getting your ducks in a row, you're maybe finishing up some training, or maybe working through some things that are holding you back. But without what I'm talking about today, the truth is you're going to have a harder time focusing on your business. And I've seen this over and over again. Without this, you'll potentially feel unclear, maybe confused, and even frustrated sometimes because you're not making the progress the way you wish. So what is this? It's vision. Vision in any area of our lives, including our businesses, enables us to have an idea. I think of our vision as a pole star of where are we going? Where are our desires and energy calling us? And it also gives us that feedback. Are we going in the right direction? Are we meeting our goals? And our vision truly helps us with our inner confidence and our clarity. So relative to what we're talking about here today in Wellspring, a vision can be related to any increment of time in the future, okay? Whether it's tomorrow, whether it's for the next week, month, or years to come, you can create a vision that will support you. A vision can have very specific details in it, or it can be more defined by a feeling, or again, a vision without needing to have all the details in it. Typically, if a vision is in closer proximity to us, like in the next month or by the end of the year, we might have more specific details in it. If it's a vision that's maybe a 3 or 5 year vision, some of those details aren't quite as necessary, but we have the overall feeling about that. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But when it comes to visioning and your business, it is so important to create a vision. Knowing, of course, always that you can adjust it at any time. Having a vision allows you to create an energetic container for your intentions, for your business on all levels. And again, we could talk about vision related to life, but right now we're talking about vision related to one area of your life, your business. So the container of the vision could be about what size of business you'd like to have, how much money you'd like to have coming in regularly to monetize your life so you can freely get out there and support people. Who are the clients you want to work with, and how many would you like to work with at any given time? And you can have in your vision the energy and the idea of the impact that you're making for your clients or your patrons. Some of you here might have products. So when I say clients, those are people who you might be serving with sessions, but clients are also people who might be, for example, buying your books or your artwork or any other product that you might have. Your vision can contain your aspirations, your dreams. And the idea here is that when you create a vision for yourself and for your business, you have this touchstone to know how to make decisions, what to say yes or no to, how to evaluate how you're doing in terms of your progress, and so many more things than that. Your vision will support you in creating and taking aligned actions that will get you closer day by day to your vision. Because as I've already said, your vision becomes your touchstone of that alignment, especially if you have an opportunity. Say, for example, somebody asks you to participate in an event or be a speaker or any opportunity that you might have. You can bounce that off of your vision. Is this event, is this experience, is this opportunity taking me towards my vision? Then you can celebrate that, say yes, and knowing that all the energy that you put into it will keep you aligned and moving towards that vision that you desire. Then if for some reason you say, you know what, that feels like it's a digression, it's not going to be a good use of my time, it's not taking me towards my vision. It may be a cool opportunity, but it's not bringing me towards it. That's an opportunity to say no. And that's worth celebrating also, because you're getting very congruent in your energy, trusting that vision and moving towards it always. So I've worked with people over the years who haven't actually begun their business yet, and that may apply to some of you here. So you feel like you can't really have a vision. Like, how can I have a vision? I haven't even started going yet. But yes, you can. You absolutely can begin your vision. Your vision is a movement of energy, right? As soon as you vision and you say, well, this is what it's going to be, this is what it's going to look like, based on what you know right now. Remember, it's going to be perfectly imperfect. It's okay. I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. But vision keeps us moving forward, keeps us focused. It keeps us on track. So, and where does it keep us on track to? Our vision, which is theoretically in the direction of our dreams. So even if you haven't begun your business yet, you have an idea of what you would like it to be. Maybe, do you have a job that I'm not going to let go of that? I really love the safety and security and the insurance and the people at work, all of that. I recognize that I'm going to keep my job, and I always want my practice, at least for now, to be on the side. That's awesome. So you can still create a vision around that. What would that look like to you? How many people would you be serving? How are you going to feel at the end of the day? How do you keep yourself in balance? All of that can be part of this vision. Again, creating a container that provides that energetic focal point for you to move forward to. So I'm just curious, for those of you who are here on Facebook, on Zoom, on YouTube, how many of you already have some kind of a vision? Maybe you've written it out, created a dream board around it, a vision board. Awesome. That's so great. I love that. And it's so important for you to do that. And that's really the beginning. And maybe today you're going to say, all right, I want to revamp it. Maybe I made it a while ago. Maybe circumstances have changed in my life. But I want to but continue here. I want to talk about a few reasons why spiritual entrepreneurs actually don't often create a vision for their business. The first and foremost is they don't know the value of it or the importance of it. They're just going along, they're doing their thing, and they're hoping their business becomes sustainable, but they don't really have a plan for it. They don't have any form and structure or methodology to it. So they don't know that a vision can start getting that energy clear so that they know they can take aligned steps, actually get the feedback of how am I doing? How's that going? Wow, I see that I am progressing. Another thing is that, at least from the people I've worked with, is they often say, well, I've never thought about doing a vision or a vision statement, because they're thinking about it like a mission statement that they associate with bigger businesses or more corporately oriented businesses, more traditional or formal businesses. And they don't think, well, my spiritual business doesn't need that kind of structure. I've had people say, oh, that's too patriarchal to do it. But when we look at the pure definition of what a vision is for you, it's actually ideal for a spiritual business, because that's the energy that you're working in, right? The vision for each of your clients, what their potential is that they can realize, and your support of them along the way. So it is perfect for you to start creating a vision. I've also had people say that they feel that they have to be further along in their business. Like, I really have to get it going. I can't do it before I actually start, which I've talked about already here. And the last thing that I'll bring up now is that I've had people say that they feel uncertain or confused about how to commit to a vision or where to even begin with it. I've had people say, but if I have this vision, how do I work with it? It could just be a beautiful saying that's on the wall of my office, or I could have it as a little meditation every day, but how do I make it work for me? So as I've already said, you can begin creating a vision for you and your business, no matter where you are. You can begin right now. So I'm going to give you a few tips on how to begin. And I'd love to hear what you've done also. You can pop it in the chat. But first of all, if you felt intimidated or haven't even thought about creating a vision, again, I've had people say, but it's like a vision seems so big, it seems so important, and like there's almost like stage fright trying to get it going. Like, you cannot get it wrong. You can't get your vision wrong. If it feels overwhelming to create a vision, like, I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 years or 3 years or even a year. So if it feels overwhelming or intimidating at all, then you're probably trying to make too big of a commitment right now. Okay, so just think about that. If you felt overwhelmed, or I don't know what I should start with, or I have a vision, but I'm disconnected to it, I don't even know where to start. It may be that you're looking at too much all at once. So you might want to create, if you have a big vision, create some smaller visions, maybe over a shorter period of time, maybe fewer items, or meaning like, maybe it's because a lot of light workers know a lot of things. How many of you feel overwhelmed sometimes? Like, but I know so many things, I don't even know where to begin. Like, I don't know who to serve. I don't know how to get out there, because you might have a beautiful list of all kinds of things that you can do. And so that can be overwhelming as well. And so anytime you feel overwhelmed, it's too big. I don't know how to move. I'm paralyzed by it. First of all, we are running up against an inner game issue, and we can talk about that another time. But what you want to do is start creating some momentum. So look at it in a shorter period of time. Maybe what's your vision for this week? What's your vision for the next month? Or again, if you have 10 things that you can offer to your clients, what are the top 1 or 2 that you can just focus on that right now? You're not ignoring all the rest, but you want to chunk it down so that you're not overwhelmed or feeling like it's too much, okay? For example, a shorter term vision for you could be on completing 1 or 2 important tasks that you feel are necessary for you to take those next steps, whether it's to start, whether it's to get your next new client, whether it's to create an opportunity for you to share your work. Just focus on one task, because we can have our overarching vision, and then we can have these little mini ones that will get our momentum going, overcome any inertia that we have. The second thing is, sometimes when we don't have a vision that's working for us, or we haven't created one, a good way to start is to begin to think about, how do I wish to feel in my business? Just the feeling part of it. And this is often when people go to vision, they tap into a lot of practical things. And that's great. Your vision can hold all those practical things, but then it's like, well, I don't know how much money I want to make, and I'm not really sure how many people I want to work with or what to do with them. How do you want to feel? It's a great way to start. Do you want to feel happy? Do you want to feel balanced? Do you want to feel successful, empowered, on purpose? Do you want to feel like you are attracting the most amazing clients in the world? Maybe you feel financially abundant, or you have more than enough money. Or I talk to people all the time who are hoping to grow their practice so they can release their day job that they've had. Maybe you want to feel that. How's that going to feel to you? Start writing some of those things down, and whatever is important to you right now. Yes, perhaps you're going to be tapping into all this before it's been experienced and fully realized, before you even know if you're going to really like it, perhaps. But vision is what helps draw in those experiences that we desire. And I talked about it before. It's like, we want to keep very flexible with this, because it's also okay. So for you, Enneagram 1s, if any of you perfectionists, it's okay. It's all right. The reality is, you can get it wrong. The things that you get wrong are informative. They help you. If you say, oh, I really want to work with these kind of people, and they start coming in, you go, whoa, and actually, I don't really want to work with those kind of people. That happens. But that is good data and information. It's clarifying. It's supportive, correct? So you can't get this wrong. You just need to be willing to pivot if things are coming in or they're different than what you expect right now. This is why we want to just say super flexible, and then it keeps us out of overwhelm and allows us to begin. So again, tap into the feelings, whatever's important to you. The next thing, and I've already talked about this a little bit, but you want to be open to changing, adapting, and editing. Allow it to be just as much in the flow as you are with life. Give yourself this idea is like you're putting a stake in the ground, but it's fluid. It's a living document. It's a living vision. It's a living idea. Give it breathing room to shift and grow, because you shift and grow. You're not the same person you were a year ago. You're not the same person you were 5 years ago. You've shifted and grown. Allow your vision to shift and change with you. So if there's any intimidation of like, well, I don't know how this is really going to sit with me, it's like all you have to do is say, does this feel good for right now? Whether a week from now, a month from now, or 2 years from now, you change it, that's fine. That's because you're allowing yourself to be in the flow. And that's a universal energy, isn't it? We're creating these beautiful businesses to be in flow with universal energies. And it's ever changing, ever growing, ever transforming. And so we want ourselves and our business to be that way too. So also start casually. Again, I've worked with people and it's like they want to start and get their final draft first. How many of you are like that? Like, I got to get it right. I got to get all the words in. I've got to get all the sentences right. Got to get the energy right. And when we feel that way, we don't let ourselves get started. So one of the things that you can do is just start writing down. This kind of goes to the feeling thing. What are descriptive words of what you'd like to experience with your business? Just jot adjectives down. Let your mind fly free. Just start jotting it all down. If you're like me, you're going to jot words not on the lines, but you're going to jot them randomly down. I probably would take out my colored markers because that's me. And I would just start throwing all the words down of how I would like to feel, what, not just feel, but what do I want to experience with my business? I can tell you, for me, a vision for my business will always include balance, ease, and flow. Why? Because I've experienced the opposite of that more than not. So I'm still striving, and I'm a work in progress, but I'm still striving to have work-life balance, right? How many of you can relate to that? Work-life balance. And so sometimes we're hesitating around our business. We put all these things into our vision, and we haven't even included the quality of life that we have, that we want to have. So we're going to dive in and we're going to think we're going to be overwhelmed by this tidal wave again. You want your vision to include you and the quality of life you want to live. And you set that stake in the ground. Like, is this providing me work-life balance? Am I going to be working too many hours a week? What's right for you? Okay. Just what's right for you. It doesn't, we got to let go as entrepreneurs. We must let go of this 40-hour-a-week idea. What if you could earn more than enough money working 20? What if you joyfully work 50? And that's perfectly right and aligned and balanced for you. This is about right sizing your business. So this is what you want to get into a flow and really notice what's there. What am I hesitating around? I've talked to so many spiritual entrepreneurs who feel like to have a successful business in this realm, they will overwork. It's going to be too much. It's going to be overwhelming. How many of you have had that feeling? Yeah, thank you. It's very easy to feel that way. It's very easy to get caught in the trap of that, but include yourself, include, like me. I will never create a vision statement that does not include balance, ease, and flow. And that what I do easily is supporting all the people that are just in the right place at the right time to be supported by it, and that I don't have to overwork to do it. Okay. Now, when you're writing all these adjectives and words down, don't edit it. Don't think, is this really right? Do I really want that? Just, again, open your mind, let it flow freely. You can move things around later. You can create more form with it, but you want to overcome the inertia of doing this or editing it. And so as you allow yourself to begin with these adjectives and vision your feelings, those two things, you're opening up an energetic flow for more clarity. So here's my question for all of you right now. What would some of those adjectives be for you right now? Doesn't matter if in a month you don't want those, or in a year you feel like you've outgrown them. What's coming to mind for you? What kind of energy do you wish to experience with your vision in your business. Doesn't matter how established it is, write them down. Maybe you want to have balance because you want to hang out with family. Maybe you've retired from a job and you want to bring this in as a side gig. Maybe you have a spiritual or meditation routine that you never want to give up. All of those are perfect. But you want to create your business so that you know that it's holding the container of you and the work. So I'd love to hear what some of you, I'm opening up the chat here to see if some of you have chimed in. And I know Paul's watching the chat in Facebook. And what if there's a conflict between what is desired between personal and work? That is a really deep question there. Either you're welcome to add in a little bit more in the chat, but ultimately you're going to want to find the place where your vision for personal and work are united. So find the place, at least initially, where they coexist happily, and then you can transform to make them more or different later on. Because obviously, if there's a conflict between personal and work, you're not going to want to step into that, right? We hold ourselves back if we feel, I'm just making this up, but like if you feel like, oh, if I step into this, it's going to just become a tidal wave and I'm going to lose balance. We want to resolve that energy in whatever way, whether it's through your own energy tools, or whether it's getting support with energy tools, your own awareness, journaling, again, finding a smaller bit where they both, that's what I would do. If I felt like they don't coexist, where do they coexist, and focus on that, and use that as a starting point. So we also have joyful and grateful, grace-filled, healthy, engaged, impactful, beautiful. And from Facebook, we have, I have a vision, but not a specific plan. Right. So I'm going to talk about that just briefly in a second. So thank you for the sharing so far. All right. I think I've seen all the chats. Thank you for that. And so let's just talk about this. We can have a vision, but how do we have that specific plan to get there? Very often there is that gap between them. And so the way I work with this, first of all, I work in the Akashic Records a lot with my business, and I work in the Akashic Records myself, and most of you know that. And what I do is, if I have the vision, then I use intuitive guidance, the Akashic Records, whatever tools you have to say, if this is my vision and this is where I'm at, we don't have here's the key. We do not take one giant step to our vision. That is where it doesn't work. Because our vision is out here, not in a vibrational match yet to where we are. It's our potential. Our vision is our potential and what we're striving towards. So using your Akashic Records, your energy tools, your intuitive awareness, your cards, whatever you do, you want to say, what is one step, or what's the first step? What can I do this week that gets me closer to that goal? Because again, we're not going to do it in one giant leap. We're not Superman or Superwoman. We want to say, if we take these small aligned steps that slowly get us closer, we feel and know that we're getting closer. It's very empowering. We feel positive around it. We feel great. It's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Wow, I did those things. I see how I'm moving towards my vision. So you want to chunk it down. When you're not sure about your specific plan, you want to assume that your vision is right and true for you, but then tap into wisdom and guidance to say, What's my next step? You know, there's that really kind of funny saying that I always think is a little, I don't know, it always intimidates me to say it, but I'm going to just say it. You know, the funny saying of how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time. So now I know we're not all eating elephants, right? And we're not considering how to make that happen. But the reality is it's that kind of energy. You're not going to eat an elephant in one big bite. You're going to do it one step at a time. You're not going to manifest your vision all at once. You're going to do it one step at a time. So find what that step is. Use what you have at your disposal to tap into what's that one next step. Maybe it's getting one more client this week. Maybe it's promoting a class you're teaching. Maybe it's sharing something on social media. Maybe it's looking for a podcast that you can be interviewed on. Maybe it's finishing another chapter of your book. Maybe it's making sure that this week you've been in a lot of self-care and not just working, that you're bringing in some work-life balance. So you can ask yourself or use any of your tools to get clear on what are your next aligned steps. And okay, so one of the, beyond what I've mentioned already, some questions that you can ask yourself to begin crafting your vision is this: who would I like to be working with? And you can say, well, I want to work with everyone. I do. I want to work with everyone. What I do helps everyone. I've been there. I understand that. Of course you can, but you don't want to work with everyone. I know for me, there are definitely certain people I don't want to work with. Why? How do I know that? Because I've worked with them. And over time, I've said, can I help them? Sure. I'll give you one example. I don't like to work with people who don't want to take responsibility for their life. They want somebody else to do it for them. And so they're not in self-responsibility, because this kind of work, this transformational work, requires us to take responsibility for ourselves, doesn't it? And who we are and how we're showing up. So that's just one example. And you might say, I only want to work with women, or I only want to work with men. I only work with children with learning disabilities. Okay, so get clear. If you work with people, who do I want to be working with? It's okay. The truth is, your clarity doesn't create limitation. It creates that clarity that is, you know, if somebody said, okay, let's talk about food. If somebody says, what do you want to eat? I don't know, I'll eat anything. Okay, I love everything. I'll eat anything. And then you go somewhere and say, well, I don't really like this, right? This isn't what I really wanted. But what you can also do, though, is say, what do you like to eat? Oh, you know what? I feel like I need some more vegetables today. I'd love to go somewhere where I can have a salad or some vegetables with my meal. Okay. Do you see how much clearer that is? Okay. Now we're going to find a restaurant where we know we can get a salad or we can get vegetables. That specificity creates clarity for success. The success in this case is eating the right foods. And you may say, well, that doesn't matter that much. Maybe not, but that's what we want to do with who we want to work with, because there are people you love to work with. It's not creating a limitation, it's creating clarity. Energetic clarity for you and energetic clarity for that universal match for the right people to come to you. It allows you to talk to those people also, right? Everyone doesn't have the same problem or striving that needs to be solved. So you want to be in that place where I like to help these people. And you know those issues that they're dealing with and how you can help them. But that's like a whole nother talk that we could do at some point. And so who do I want to work with? How would I like to be serving them? Now, this kind of goes back to this idea of like, you might have 10, 15 things that you've learned to do over the years. But there may be some of those things that you do that you really like to work with people with. Maybe that's what you always want to start with. Sure, you could bring the other things in later. So if you're somebody who has a lot of things that you do and it can feel overwhelming, I want you to think of what's the gateway modality or thing that you do that will serve most of your people from the beginning. Because once they start working with you and they love you and they see who you are, they're going to ask, what else do you do? You don't need to bring, we're going to go back to food here. Don't make them eat the whole buffet. Give them one dish. Decide that they love your cooking. And now they want to have more with you. So what's that one or two things that you want to lead with? The other things can come in later. So more things about your vision. How many hours a day or a week would you like to work? If you're somebody who's session-based, how long will my sessions be? If you're creating something or writing a book, something like that, how often, how long do you want to work every day with that? Just start tapping into what feels right for you that way. How much money would you like to make? And it's not whether or not you're making more than enough. You need money to survive. If you're not making enough money to survive, you're not going to be in a place to easily offer the expansiveness of your gifts. So there's a baseline that everyone needs. What do you need? And you also don't want to say, I need this much money, but I only want to work with this number of people. You could do that, but then what you charge them is going to have to be more. So we want to kind of keep those working together. So how many of you have felt that I know I mentioned this before, because you couldn't create a vision because you have too many things. I'm just going to give them everything. How do I explain everything to them? Because if I don't explain all of them to them, they might not say yes to anything. How many of you can relate to that? And because maybe that one thing you didn't explain to them was the thing that they really wanted. So give yourself permission, as I've already said, to do this in stages, be perfectly imperfect, figure out what is the main thing or the main couple of things that you want to work with people, or it's most effective, or you feel most confident with, and open to creating a vision for yourself that will support your energy moving towards it in a really excited, positive, empowered way for you. And please be playful with your vision. Don't get too serious about it. Allow it to form for you. All right. So if you have any thoughts or questions, I'd love for you to pop it in the chat right now. And I did want to share also that I just put it out to the world in the last couple of days. Because so many people have been asking me recently, I am offering an Akashic Records and Your Business course. So really excited about that, where you don't have to have prior experience with the Akashic Records. You'll learn it all there. If you have prior experience, that's okay too. But how to work with the Akashic Records for yourself and your business is going to be over 2 different weekends. And Paul, I didn't give you a warning on this. Can you find that link? Okay, thank you. I didn't give Paul a heads up. But if you want to start supporting yourself with your vision, with all of this, and working really in collaboration with your business, it'll be over 2 different weekends, 4 hours on a Saturday, 4 hours on a Sunday. And so not really long days. And yes, it will be recorded. Yes, you'll be doing lots of work in the Akashic Records, not just hearing, but actually doing. I am very much a doer. Like, let's not just, we don't need more information. We do need information, but we need experiences also. So it's been a long time since I've taught this course. I've updated and revamped it recently. So if that feels like a draw to you and you really want to create that leverage for you, again, Paul's going to be he put the link in the chat, Your Victorious Business, and it's in 2 weekends, 1 weekend in October, 1 weekend in November. There's some time in between, so you're not taking up 2 full weekends in a row, and also time to practice in between. So if that feels like something that's resonant with you, love to have you join in for that. I'm really excited to teach this. I'm very passionate about how the Akashic Records can support our growth, our next steps, our vision, all of it. I know that Paul and I would not be where we are in our business today if we hadn't had the Akashic Records supporting us. It's such an invaluable tool for us. So thank you so much for being here. The conversation will continue. If you have any reflections, any thoughts, any ongoing questions, hop into the Conscious Conversations with Your Business Facebook group and ask anything in between. If you're watching this again or watching the replay, jump in there. I get in there as often as I can. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for your energy and your presence being here. It's been a pleasure to connect with all of you. And before we go, what's your biggest takeaway from today? What's your biggest takeaway? I'll have a sip here. Like, excuse me. We have a comment, more focus. More focus. I love that. More focus. What do I want to feel? I love that. It's so important. We get into our head, right? But what we really want is this really great felt sense of what our life and our business is going to be. And not to serve everyone, but at least know who I don't want to serve. Yes, whether you know who you want to serve or don't want to serve, it's all clarity. And your clarity creates an alignment of your energies. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Again, we can help everyone, but not everyone's there waiting for us. And all we have to do is know what lights us up with that. Yeah. Adele, bless you and your grammar. You're always so good at that. All right. Love you all. We'll see you next week. Oh, wait. I have another comment here. I also want to have a conversation with my book and business. Yes. Any projects you have, all of that. That's so incredible. All right. Take care, everyone. See you next Friday at the same time, or Saturday for the Australians.